For those of you folks who don't know me, I'm Michael Herring. I'm the artistic director of Red Herring Productions, and I want to welcome you to the world premiere. First time we are live streaming a production of The Mother Logs. So I want to just take a couple minutes to describe the genesis of this project and the goals and objectives that we hope to achieve with it. When this whole pandemic thing started back in March and the governor shut all of us down, we thought, okay, well this might last a couple months, but we'll be able to manage it. And so we planned on producing a show the 1st of June. And as time went on, we realized that that really wasn't a realistic goal. So we figured July would be a logical time to do the next show. And as things progressed and actually deteriorated even further, we were like, okay, we're not going to be able to do anything probably until the end of September, the 1st of October. So the board of Red Herring kind of tasked the creative team to come up with some sort of virtual online solution to continue to produce works. And so I reached out to Vivian Lamont, who is the woman who curated some monologue series for us. And we were going to do the Mother Logs back in May to celebrate Mother's Day. And obviously we had to cancel that. So I asked her to kind of like get the actors together and to kind of get that up to speed. And then in a typical Red Herring way, we wanted to do more than just some sort of tape programming or something more than a Zoom conference of these monologues. So we got the idea and put our heads together and decided to put together a live streaming opportunity. And then we encouraged the actors to really take it more than just a reading of a monologue, but make it more of an individual performance piece. Because one of the important components of this project is to help keep actors in shape. Like any sort of skill set, if you don't practice it, well, things start to atrophy. So we wanted to give actors the opportunity to flex their muscles and practice their craft. So that's kind of like the genesis of where we came from. And then what Red Herring, our objective here is, since our future is so uncertain as to when we can reopen, what shows we can do, and having to have the ability to pivot on a dime if the governor does shut down theaters again or if something else happens, then we can shift the production and do a virtual live streaming of it. Because that's what makes this project unique over other projects, is that this is live. So anything can happen, just kind of like in live theater. So anyways, I want to thank you so much for our time. I want to thank the production team that made this possible. I want to thank the actors that have done a phenomenal job. I want to thank the playwrights who have submitted the monologues. And I also want to thank Vivian Lamont for the work that she's put into this project. Now I would like to introduce to you our MC for this evening, and that is going to be Ruth Sternberg. And she's going to take it over here. From here. So thank you so much for tuning in, and enjoy our production of The Mother Logs.
Good evening and welcome to Red Herring's second Monologue Monday production and our first online production. Tonight we lead with a story about an old recipe box. It holds more than carefully sorted menus. It serves up a trigger for memories. Join us for Kolaches.
My mother clipped recipes. Well, lots of mothers did then, I guess. Mine kept hers on index cards in a small green metal filing box, and on each was stamped down with yellowing Scotch tape instructions for family pleasers, such as ginger ale pot roast, pork chops with apricot sauce, minute rice ham pineapple casserole, and even a tasty Florentine crab bake, where a 6-ounce can of crab could, with shredded cheese, sauce, spinach, and toast points, be made to feed a family of 4. Once she was comfortable with the recipe, it would show up in rotation every few weeks or so. Exactly the same each time. She never grew comfortable and trusted her ability to improvise. A 1/4 teaspoon of Worcestershire sauce in a chowder never became a full teaspoon, and never ever a dash or 2. I remember there was a level teaspoon of nutmeg in the crab cake, and even though my father said it tasted confusingly Christmassy, there was a level teaspoon of nutmeg in that crab bake until the last time she made it, when she was 89. She once tried a Eastern European recipe called kolaches, which for my mother was on the adventurous side because it required yeast and time to rise before baking. But somehow she mastered them. And once we declared them wonderful, which they were, that index card was duly slipped into the green metal box. Now, this version of the recipe called for 2 dozen kolaches in the batch, suggesting that 6 should be made with apricot jam plopped in the center, 6 with cream cheese, 6 with a kind of prune puree, and 6 with lemon curd. Well, as it turns out, my family liked the prune and the apricot way more than the cream cheese and lemon. Well, for one thing, there was cream cheese in the pastry, so there was almost no contrast at all. And as for lemon curd, well. So the apricot and prune would disappear almost before they cooled, but the others just lingered around the rest of the week. I kept thinking that, of course, the next time Mother made these, she would just make 12 with apricot and 12 with prune and be rewarded with our everlasting gratitude and delight. But she didn't. Or she couldn't, because that's not what the recipe called for. It specified 6 with cream cheese and 6 with lemon. And my mother, for better or for worse, always respected a recipe. And by the time I moved out, I had come to a young woman's conclusion that my mother, sweet as she was sadly lacking in imagination, inflexible, and a slave to routine. Shortly after she passed away, I was going through her things, and I ran across that small green metal box. The cards were organized by appetizers, mains, desserts, and, well, even by festive beverages like her fragrant and potent Christmas punch. In the back was a creased and faded card on which, in her tidy handwriting, were a few lines in pencil. I tilted the card up to the kitchen window so those pale gray words were visible. One day, I'd like to make something that tastes of sunshine. I want to serve something memorable, something perfect. There was a smudge of a thumbprint and a faint coffee stain on the edge of the card. Long ago dried, long ago sipped and savored. I hope that cup of coffee was perfect and memorable. I hope it tasted of the sunshine. I hope it made her smile.
In our next piece, we discover that not all mothers have a devotion to domesticity or to the culinary arts. One woman shares her recollections of Mom's cooking.
When you think of your mom, I'm betting that somewhere in the mix of childhood sense memories is the wonderful waft of smells from the kitchen. The tantalizing aroma of hot cross buns or a stew so simmering on the stove. Lucky you. Kudos to those mums who produced and delivered such tantalizing fare. My mom was not a culinary queen. She favored foods that could be served on toast. Beans on toast, chipped beef on toast, fried eggs on toast. She also liked fruits and vegetables in tins. Give that woman a can opener and she was at the ready. She loved peas, and she had a real penchant for stewed prunes. Meat was another matter. We won't talk about her liver and onions. My brother and I thought that she was serving us blackened shoe leather. Hamburger patties also made her weekly rota. Those burgers were beyond well done. She could have made a small fortune selling them to a Canadian hockey team as hockey pucks. Oh, I'm not complaining, mind. Fixing food was not my mom's forte. She almost bragged about it. I was not born to slave over a hot stove, she'd say. You think I'm exaggerating. Here is a small tale to prove my point. After Mom and Dad retired, she became more adventurous culinarily. She moved from canned, tinned foods to box mixes. Now, as my dad tells it, one day she had prepared something simple in a bread pan and cooked it and left it on the stove to cool while she went out for her daily walk. When she got back, there was Dad, hunched over the stove, slicing off pieces, dousing them in steak sauce, frying them in the skillet, and shoveling them in directly from the stove. Miriam, this is the best meatloaf you ever made. Are you daft? That's not meatloaf, that's date nut bread. I rest my case. I may not have marvelous meal memories, but I have wonderful memories nonetheless. Not all moms were meant to master the art of cooking up delicious dishes and serving them to their children. My mother may not have ever passed down a recipe, but she fed me the love of books, the delicious world of live theater, a menu of music from rock to classical. And for that, I'd say I was a very well-fed child indeed.
Our next piece is called Motherload, because in Momland, things can get way out of hand. We now witness one mom's management of mayhem.
Pharmacy? 2. No. Menu. Pharmacy? 2. Auto mechanic. I don't even have a card. Pharmacy! I don't know if it's an emergency, that's why. Okay. Disco music. Speak to a person, please. A person? Speak to a oh, hi. This is Tracy Woodlawn. Is Jenny there? The pharmacist. Yeah, she works weekends. Yeah, I know it's Tuesday, but I have a really important question. Thank you. Betty, and yes, it is a tough day, and you too. Do you have a 90-year-old mother? A college student who may have left home for all I know, and a toddler that's been a surprise since conception. Okay, yeah, so my question is, if someone passed out and there's no sign of, my emergency line is ringing, can you hold on. Shh. Mom? Yeah. You lost what? You dropped your hearing aid batteries. Yeah, yes, I know that they're small and hard to see. Can you just look again, please? Make sure the light is on. No, Mom, don't get on the floor. You just had your macular degeneration shot. Your MD shot. Your MD shot! I'm yelling because you can't hear! Sorry, I hurt your feelings. Mom, look, can you just hold on for 1 second? Sorry, just, Jenny, Betty, and, Thor, be quiet, you're gonna wake the baby. Oh, hey, sweetheart. No, stay still, okay? Why don't you come down the stairs on your rear end, okay? Sleepyhead? Good, okay. Wait, that's Mommy's sippy cup. No, yours is red, like an apple. Okay. Whew, you have a toddler too? Yeah, mine's at that in-between age. Not 2, not 4, and yours never got past 3, the 3s. Yeah, that's fun. What's his name? Donnie? Aw, yeah, mine's Jimmy. Jimmy, yeah. Oh, and yours is after Don, no, yeah. Well, isn't that special? Look, okay, Betty, please. I held a mirror to her mouth to see if she was breathing, and there was nothing, no sign of, right, so do I call 911, or? Yeah, see, I'm not totally sure because I use my smartphone. Yeah, I turn the camera to be like a mirror, and oh my God, do you want to see the selfie? Wow. Now that I've said that out loud, that sounds really stupid. Or ineffective, because we don't use stupid, do we, Jimmy? No. Hey, why don't you put down Mommy's sippy cup? Be a big boy and go get yourself an apple, okay? No, that's a hammer. No, stop. Please put it down. Don't bang on the floor. Just, hammers are for males. Ginny. All right, you know what? Let's clear things up. Yes, my mom, she's very stressed. And no, I take after my father. But she's all right now, that's all calm. See, I just had her double up on her blood pressure medicine to calm her down. And, what? Well, is there something I can give her to even her out? Okay, well then how do I perk her up? Coffee? No, that wasn't a joke. I also told her to do what I've been doing because, I don't get any sleep like every other mother of young children I know. And yeah, what I do is I just put a little bit of coffee into a sippy cup, cuts back on the caffeine. Yeah, all my friends do it. And sure, I'll hold. Why is she, oh crap. Mom, hey, if I send an Uber to get you, do you think you could come over here by yourself? Uber, it's like a personal cab. No, it's not extravagant. Why don't you call Bruce? No, you do not call Bruce. Jimmy, that is Mommy's cup. Yours is red like a fire truck. No, don't hammer the plant. What? Oh God, I'm sorry. What? Oh, my husband, he lost his job. He's interviewing in Cleveland today, which is why I'm calling you, because you know benefits. And, right, so, when I saw that she was passed out, I called to her, I shook her, I banged some pots and pans, which probably woke up Thor, and Thor! Stop that! No, stop! No! What? Oh, he's a Pekingese. I don't know, James heard that Coburg's gonna kill us, so we got a dog. Did you know there were Coburgs in the area? I don't know, I figured Thor could double as an emotional support dog, and Bruce? Oh, that's my brother. He's troubled and... Oh, did I say troubled? I meant trouble. And, no, I am not afraid to ask for help. In fact, I called my bestie Dot first thing for a ride after she dropped her kids off at school, but I wasn't dressed yet, so I said, like, sit down, take a load off it. You don't believe me? Who do you think is passed out in the next room? See, Dot, life is not a Hallmark movie! Jimmy, please leave Auntie Dot alone. She can't play right now, okay? Just, and put the hammer down, put it down. Oh, Dot. Dot, you're awake. Oh, Jimmy! How could you? Get over here! Dot? Dot, can you, hear me? Ginny, Betty, this is definitely an emergency. Could you go ahead and send an ambulance? And oh, those sirens are for us. Thank you. Thank you, Jimmy, Betty. Oh, Jimmy, yes, that's right. You play nice with Auntie Dot. And oh God, my couch. Human resources. 2. Not 3, 2! It's Tracy. Sylvie, could you let Aaron know I will not be in today? Thank you.
And now, let's all take a trip to the grocery store, where one young mom discovers that when you take your toddler, you avoid the candy aisle at all costs because there will be consequences. Let's enjoy the meltdown.
It started when we passed by the candy section. I tried my best to guide her gently away from the brightly colored packages, but it was too late. I could see her eyes lock onto the multi-pack of Cadbury's, pulling her in like sugary magnets. No, Alice, don't open those or Mommy will have to pay for them. I want them, she screeches and proceeds to burst open the bag and send bars flying into the air, one of which lands at the feet of an elderly couple loitering in the bargain section. And then they shoot me a look of what I can only describe as sheer disgust. So I shout back at them, "Screw you both, you coffin-dodging, leathery-faced, mean old bastards!" Of course, I don't say this. I want to. All I can muster in the moment is a sort of half-hearted shrug that suggests, "Kids, huh?" I attempt to grab Amy's hand and pull her in for a cuddle, and she throws herself onto the floor and starts holding her breath. I have to be the adult here. I cannot give in and allow this 3-year-old to push my buttons. Not again. I tried to remember the book on tantrums that my mom gave me, the one that promises to wrangle even the wildest of toddlers. According to the book, your best weapon in your anti-tantrum armory is distraction. Apparently, 3-year-olds like to be the center of attention. They thrive on negative attention, and by creating a diversion, it stops the bad behavior. No shit, Sherlock, you reckon? By now, Amy is turning a sort of purplish grape color, and the screaming increases, the rolling on the floor, arms jerking about like Ian Curtis from Joy Division. Passerbys have stopped passing by and are now actually staring right at us. Not one of them offers to help or even talks to me. A shop clerk appears with a headset, and then I hear her report my bad behavior to her manager. At least this is what my paranoid brain tells me. Any moment now, the special supermarket Gestapo will arrive in their black leather aprons and drag us off probably to a back room that is soundproofed where we will be interrogated and banned from returning to the store. What actually happens is the shop assistant disappears and more people seem to appear and join the viewing gallery. We are now the main attraction. And I see that one young teenager has started recording us on his mobile to enjoy on YouTube at a later date. The book also says that laughter increases the intake of oxygen-rich air and increases the release of endorphins from your brain, which is just as well, because I am now test driving a brand new, high-pitched, hysterical one that is getting louder by the second, and my anxiety is through the roof. Ian Curtis is now Linda Blair from The Exorcist, and I'm expecting her head to start revolving in circles and green projectile vomit to spray everywhere. This is when I reach up and I grab a box of Reese's Pieces, family-size pack. And then Amy crawls to me and sits in my lap like a kitten, crying and snottering, stopping, and a smile beginning to appear on her face for the first time that day. Both of us stuffing our faces with peanut buttery chocolate that we had not paid for. Meltdown Mother in the confectionery aisle. Meltdown Mother in the confectionery aisle.
Teens. A whole new demographic of devilment. In our next monologue, called TP, we revisit a harebrained scheme gone wrong.
Oh my God. My sweet little Zelda had borrowed my car, and I trusted her. I knew I should have taken the keys with me when my husband John and I had gone out to dinner. I mean, she's 17, she has her driver's license, but I didn't think she'd do something so defiant. But she was grounded because she hadn't mowed the lawn like I'd asked her to 5 times this last week, and she's too old for a babysitter, so I trusted her. But I know McDonald's French fries when I smell them. Zelda's favorite treat. And my car reeks of them. God, couldn't the girl just roll down the window so it wasn't so blatantly obvious what she'd done? On the other hand, I guess it's good my daughter isn't sneaky. I was sneaky. Oh, I wouldn't wish that on anyone. My poor mother. No, not poor. I couldn't get anything past her. Maybe that's why I was so sneaky. One time I'd spent the night at my cousin Brenda's house. 2 blocks away, I was 12, so it's totally walkable. But I was afraid of the dark, so I knew that my mom wouldn't suspect me to make the trek at night. My mom hadn't done anything in particular to piss me off. In fact, letting me spend the night with my cousin was awfully nice of her, especially since I had chores that she'd have to do if I wasn't there. But you know preteens. Mom is the enemy. And besides, toilet papering had always sounded interesting to me. It looked fun on TV and seemed relatively harmless. And why not do it to my mom, the villain of my tale? Bonus, I wouldn't be home until the afternoon, so surely she'd have it cleaned up instead of waiting around for me to do it. It was the perfect crime. Brenda and I knew just where Aunt Carla kept the spare TP So we grabbed 4 rolls, hid them in the bottom of our sleeping bag, and waited for her to go to bed. We also waited until there wasn't a sound coming from Aunt Carla's bedroom, except Uncle Pete's loud snoring. Then we made our way downstairs quietly, and the door, it didn't make a sound. We stashed our bikes in the bushes, so there was also no worry about the garage door. The ride to my house and back was uneventful and just plain fun. But breaking the rules could be so thrilling, but this was on another level. To have no one know where we were, to do something so totally unexpected, it felt unlike anything I'd ever done before. And the excitement and Brenda by my side overrode any fear that I might have. That feeling lasted about 5 minutes. No one tells you how quickly toilet papering goes. But we got the big oak tree and the bushes wrapped well enough. We even took the last roll and tossed it over the house, and then we ran away giggling. And it bounced off the roof, and we were so scared it was gonna wake my parents. But we raced back to Aunt Carla's house flying high. Literally, I was so wound, I couldn't sit on my bicycle seat. The next morning, I came down to breakfast feeling pride, feeling victorious. That was until I saw my mother sitting at the kitchen table talking to Aunt Carla. They turned to look at Brenda and me. Oh, they did not look happy. Well, how did you know? Brenda stammering on. Never want to put up a fight in the face of my mother's glare. I recognize Carla's toilet paper. You think I don't know my own sister's toilet paper, my mom said. Her voice was cold. Look, I remember that feeling. Oh, my stomach dropping down into my feet. What was supposed to be a great day was ruined, and it was a relatively innocent act of rebellion, but I was in big trouble. Oh, 34 years later, I still turn into a terrified little kid when I remember how she yelled when we got home. Zelda went and got French fries. There was a lot worse she could have done. She's a good kid. Maybe I'll let this one slide.
So he's not a baby anymore. But that doesn't stop a mother from lamenting about her grown son's bad choices in his futile search to find a good woman. After all, it is a never-ending battle.
You think his problem is glowing green rocks? I'll tell you his problem. Women. His father and I always knew he'd be world famous, but that little redhead, she didn't know it. She liked him just the way he was. This is a good one, I told him. This is a keeper. Nobody listens to your mother in high school. The redhead got married, moved away. After his father died, God rest his soul, my son moved to the city. I knew he had to. To stay here would have been cruel to him and the world. Tall, good-looking, square-jawed, in a skin-tight red and blue suit. He'd have attracted attention even if he wasn't saving passenger jets from crashing or fighting big killer robots or fending off attacks from outer space. That little reporter was cute, with her pencil skirts slid up to her thighs and her blouses unbuttoned all the way down to her navel. I think she had some work done on her boobs. Every time I saw her, they were bigger. He asked me what I thought of her, so I told him. This one doesn't like you for you. She likes you for what you can do and for how famous you'll be doing it. He got so mad. The wind took out apple trees when he left. A couple weeks later, he was back. A grown man, crying like a 5-year-old. He could bend steel with his bare hands, redirect the course of a mighty river, crying over a tramp who left him for a billionaire dressed up in a bat suit. The next crazy one had blue spangled underpants and a gold bustier, a mane of jet black hair, the perfect woman's body, like a statue come to life, raised on an island of all women. I thought, he has to know. He's lived in the city. After she left, I tried to tell him gently that there were women who liked other women. And if she went back to what she was used to, well, it wasn't her fault, it wasn't his fault. Well, he just couldn't compete. He didn't have the right plumbing. Oh, he got so mad. He sonic boomed out of there, took out more apple trees, fruit falling from the sky. 2 weeks later, she left him for a woman who was part cheetah. He said through tears, "Mom, you were right." I took no satisfaction from being right about something that was so hurtful. He gave up women after that. Bulletproof skin is no defense if you have a heart that's easily broken. The next one showed up in her spaceship. First daughter of a galactic empire. She wanted a man who could father her baby, and she sensed he was the only one who could. I thought, another tramp. Tramp doesn't even begin to describe it. They fought and fought and fought, wiped out entire sections of the city. Yet he tried to lure her out to an uninhabited area, but she was too smart for that. She stayed where it was crowded because she knew that he would capitulate and give in if somebody was going to get hurt. Eventually she left with her galactic armada, and he found out he had an interstellar social disease. Turns out a lot of guys on a lot of planets had heard the "I sense you're the only man who can father my baby" spiel. He asked if he could stay here just till he got over his problem. Well, of course I said yes. He was my son. My baby tried everything. And then this friend of his showed up, a very nice young man with hair that was fire. He had the ability to channel nuclear power. He said hello, and then he and my son went off. I caught them out of the corner of my eye. The young man was channeling nuclear power at my son's private parts. He was screaming bloody blue murder. I told him, "You stay as long as you want. Somebody else can save the world for a while." A couple days later, Nuclear Boy came back. He landed with his back to me, and he goes, "How's it doing, burnt balls?" I cleared my throat, and he sobered up real quick. "Well, come on back. We need you." Next morning, there's my son, red cape fluttering. "Mom, why can't I find a good woman?" I told him, "You're a very bright light. Bright lights attract the most bugs." He smiled, he gave me a sad hug, and then he was off. As I waved goodbye, I was thinking, maybe it's time I look up that little redheaded girl. She could have gotten a divorce by now. A mother can dream, can't she?
Mommy makes a no-no. Let's take a listen to how she pulls out all the stops of imagination with some damn clever storytelling to weasel her way out of this faux pas. Something to do with an alien bird.
Okay, you saw them. And I'm sorry that you did. It wasn't something that I should have done. I mean, it wasn't motherly behavior. It's just, I guess, sometimes, kiddo, just sometimes I fucking, sorry, I should not have said that. Jeez, what the hell is wrong with me? Oh my God, I can't stop. Look, sometimes even mommies get angry, right? And sometimes we lose our cool. Like, I know that you like to think that I am perfect. Why are you looking at me like that? You don't think I'm perfect. Okay, well, anyway, look, when I flipped you off, I wasn't really flipping you off. I mean, I was, but I wasn't. Does that make sense? Okay, it looks like this isn't making sense to you. Look, okay, giving someone the middle finger is not nice, and you should never do it, ever. And I don't. I mean, I did, but really, I don't. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just my emotions, it's like they took control of my body. Yes, they took control of my body, and it wasn't even me. My emotions manipulated my fingers, and they made me do something as if I'd been abducted by an alien. No, don't cry. No, Mommy wasn't abducted by an alien. At least I don't think so. Wait a second. Yes, Mommy was abducted by an alien. And that's why she popped you the bird. Because it was the alien forcing me to do something that I would never, ever in my life do otherwise. Because I love you so much. And because you are my special little boy. Even though sometimes your screaming makes my ears bleed. And I feel like you are a banshee trying to pry your way out of the ninth circle of hell. But I digress. What I want you to take away from this is Mommy is strong, and she fought off that alien, okay? Because that alien was trying to make me do something bad, and I almost did. Okay, well, I guess technically I did, but it wasn't really me, and I broke free, and when I did flip him off, I was flipping him off. I was flipping off the alien. Yeah, I said, is this what you want? You want me to flip someone off? Well, here you go, Mr. Spacey Spaceman. Here you go. And when I did that, he knew that I was stronger than him, and he went back to his spaceship, and he flew far, far away. No. That alien is not coming back. I'm sure of it. As long as you are a sweet and loving boy, and you brush your teeth, and you go to bed when Mommy tells you to in that kind, patient voice that I do, okay? And then that alien will never come back, and Mommy will never flip you off again. As long as you don't push my fucking buttons. Okay, honey?
She's cute and she's quirky and she's set in her old school ways. Yes, grandmothers can be resistant to change. But as one woman shares, I still love her to the moon and back because she is my Nan.
My Nan is funny. Not in a weird way, but in an only a Nan can kind of way. She is worldly wise at the same time as being totally out of touch with the world we currently live in. She has views on everything and everyone, and she has no sense as to when to keep such opinions to herself. People can take me as I am or leave me alone is one of her favorite sayings, which may well be what ends up on her gravestone. My Nan talks about death as if it's a one-way journey to the shopping mall. She knows what she wants at her funeral, who she doesn't want to attend. Fortunately, I'm not on the excluded list. But how we're going to convince Auntie Margaret not to be present is another thing. My Nan never throws anything away, so she can't understand why a bottle needs to be made of plastic to begin with, let alone be used for water that you then have to pay for when it's freely available from a tap. Nan talks about a time when milk was delivered to the door in glass bottles, which the milkman took back to be used again. To my Nan, recycling is the return journey on your bike. My Nan says you should never have to throw food away if you only buy what is needed for that day's meal. Well, getting a double quantity of something because it's on offer is crazy, because who wants to eat the same thing 2 days running? My Nan doesn't own a mobile phone. She doesn't see the need for one. She's got a phone at home should she ever want to make a call, and should she need to while she's out, it would probably be to get an ambulance. And don't get her started on why she doesn't own a car. She says Granddad was the driver, not her. So when he went to the great parking lot in the sky, she never saw the need to become a driver. Besides, the pavement is safer anyway. Unless, of course, you get mowed down by a granny racer on a mobility scooter. Nan says that legs were invented before machines, and if you'd like to hang on to your mobility, we shouldn't let machines dupe us into sharing it. My Nan is not fat, and she is fit. She puts it down to the fact that she has resisted everyone's encouragement, including mine, to trade in her 3-story house for a bungalow. No stairs, so no risk of falling down them. Although, a risk of tripping over the cat is the same in both. My Nan has experienced more past than she is ever likely to see as future. Which I suppose is the best that any of us can hope for.
In the playgroup, one overzealous mother discovers that play dates can become more complicated than she ever imagined.
Ladies? Ladies? Sorry. But now that you're all quiet, I have a confession. No, Jasmine, I haven't had too many afternoon Chardonnays. No, Brittany, Michael isn't divorcing me. Thank you for your faith in my 10-year-old marriage. What I want to say is that I was totally thrilled when I met you all at Gymboree and we formed this play group. And for 3 months now, I have been bundling up Theo and heading out to one of your apartments each week, or hosting like I'm doing now. And we sit and we chat and we eat snacks while our babies play. Oh, excuse me, while they throw blocks at each other. Okay, Nicole, stop looking at them. They're 7 months old, they're not going anywhere. Sorry, I just would really prefer if you focused on what I'm saying. Sorry, Nicole. Your banana bread is delicious. What I really need to say is, because I don't think it's something that we focused on in this play group. Motherhood sucks. Getting up 10 times a night sucks. Cracked nipples, spit up, and diarrhea suck. Pushing strollers laden with 1,000 pounds of groceries sucks. Temper tantrums, crying all the time, it sucks. Not having time to brush your teeth or even change out of your pajamas sucks. Finding formula stains or snot or avocado vomit on your couch, in your hair, on your new silk blouse sucks. Passing out before you eat dinner or never going to a party ever again sucks. Basically everything about this sucks. Why don't we talk about it? Why don't I only ever hear, oh, Charlotte was smiling at 2 weeks old? Shut up, Brittany, you know that is what you told us. No, don't leave, just give me a chance to be real here for a moment. Just can't we be real? I mean, Nicole, you talk about Jasper's wooden puzzle abilities like he is a 10-year-old prodigy, and my God, he's 7 months old. He doesn't know what a square is. And Emma, 7-month-olds don't sing. What Emma does, it's not singing. It's making randomly elided baby sounds. And Jasmine, there is no way on God's earth that Oliver slept through the night at 4 weeks old every night unless you dosed him with ketamine. Why can't we be real with each other? Look, this totally sucks and it's really hard. Why aren't the men here doing this? Why do they get to go off to work every day? I'll tell you why, because they are smarter than we are. And because they are bred to realize how miserable motherhood is, and they go off and party to celebrate the fact that they don't have breasts. Look, if you four can't be honest about how awful this is, about how depressing and exhausting it is, how we want to scream into our pillows every night and we dream of sticking heroin into our veins just to feel something different for a change, then I don't know why you're all here. I really don't. If we can't just be honest with each other about our own feelings, if you can't handle the honesty that I am laying out right now, if we can't support each other in honesty and in camaraderie, well then you guys should just leave. Leave now. Are you even listening to me? Nicole, what? What? Oh my God. He's handing her a block. Theo is handing Emma a block. This is pretty cool.
Our final monologue of the evening gives us a different kind of recollection of one man's not so pleasant mom memory. It's about the consequences of letting his sweet tooth take him down the path of thievery. And as he found out, crime don't pay.
If you got growed up somewhere near the Mason-Dixon line, you know all about the switch. My first experience with that mama tool of torture took place when I was 7. Trouble started on account of my sweet tooth. It was spring. I was walking home from school and just passing Miss Ruby McAllister's corner store when the devil set himself about trying to lay claim to my young boy's soul. You see, Miss Ruby had the best penny candy just sitting in big glass jars right there in the window. Nick L. Nips wax bottles, candy buttons, atomic fireballs, and my favorite, those sticky, gooey, peanut butter chewy Mary Janes. So I walked myself right through the door while Miss Ruby is having herself a jibber-jabber with the pastor's wife, the Mrs. Betty Alice LaRue. I reach into that jar of Mary Jane's, grab me a handful, and boot scooted right out the door, down the street, just gobbling down the evidence of my candy-snatching crime, floating on a heavenly sugar high until I got to my house, and all hell broke loose. My mama standing on the porch giving me the mama ain't happy stink eye. Nathaniel Edmund Jones, she bellowed. Now every kid knows whenever your ma gives you the whole name call out, you're in a mess of trouble. Seems Miss Ruby wasted no time calling up my mama and tattling that I was a certified candy-stealing sinner who had just broken one of God's commandments. Boy, you're just itching for a switching. You grab yourself a big, strong branch from that there forsythia bush and bring it up here, she commanded in her mad mama voice. I did as I was told. If you ever had a whooping with the switch, y'all know that experience could swipe the center right out of you. To add insult to injury, Mama marched my weeping and wailing self right back to Miss Ruby's, made me apologize, and sentenced me to doing candy crime time of 2 Saturdays of stocking shelves. I learned my lesson. Crime don't pay. And if I ever had a moment of temptation when I was coming up, I just remember my first and last switching. I can still hear my mama's voice calling across my memory. Nathaniel Edmund Jones, you're just itching for a switching. Mama, you schooled me right. Oh, don't worry, this in here I done paid for.
Thank you for sharing with us this evening of Mom Memories. All of us here at Red Herring Productions look forward to seeing you at the theater very soon.